All right, everybody, Dr. Kyle here from Delfit Strength and Wellness, and we are kicking off the fundamentals of human movement program. It's a month-long program. We are starting today with workout number 1, and the design is to get you a mastery of the 6 fundamental human movement patterns. That is a push, pull, carry, squat, hinge, and lunge. Okay, so you're going to see variations of all these different movements, all the way from isometric holds to dynamic plyometric movements that look more like athletic abilities than they do fundamental movements. But the design is to give you absolute control over these 6 movement patterns so that you can achieve any exercise goal that you could possibly dream of. At Delfit, we're all about specific intentions in training. We want you to have a goal for each month or each training period that you choose to attack. And this program is going to be a 4-week attack plan on the fundamentals of human movement. And it starts right now. So let's get this timer going. And you guys are going to follow along with me for the next 45 minutes. We're going to get started with our warm-up. As always, you should warm up accordingly for the work that you're going to do. Today, we're going to be working on pressing, one of those upper body fundamental movements, or the push fundamental movement pattern, and the squat. So we're going to warm up accordingly. We're going to start on our ankles. We're going to do some controlled articular rotations. Now, it's very key here for a controlled articular rotation that you create some whole body tension. So I can do ankle circles all willy-nilly here, but I want to hook my arm under my knee, so I'm pinning my knee to my chest. I'm going to create some tension by grabbing my elbows and pulling together. And now I'm going to bring my toes up towards the ceiling as high as they can go, and I'm going to try and bring my pinky toe to my knee. I'm going to hold those toes up as I turn my foot to the inside, so now my big toe is highest up. I'm going to keep that inversion in my ankle as I press down towards the floor, come up the other direction. And when we get to the top here, I want you to reverse, down, around, and up. That's 1 rep. We're going to do 2 reps on each ankle. We're going to do 3 rounds of 3 exercises for our movement today. And there we go, 2 reps, right side. Now I'm going to go left side. So again, I'm going to hook, squeeze that knee to my chest, create some tension between my arms here. Now we're going to bring those toes up, curl, point those down, out the other side and up. Pinky toes trying to come to the knee. Going to hold that eversion as I point the toes down, plantar flexion. Now I've got the big toe coming up towards the knee, and inversion and dorsiflexion. Hold, reverse. There's my 1 rep. Now I'm going to go rep 2. Now, a controlled articular rotation is meant to access every inch or every last bit of range of motion that you have in a joint. So you really need to create a lot of tension. This shouldn't be an easy joint circle. 2 reps there for me and I'm done. Now I'm going to get into a nice lumbar locked position. So what that means is I'm going to sit on my knees and then lean back onto my heels, okay? This position is going to lock my lumbar spine from being involved in this movement. I'm going to come forward onto my elbows, and now I'm going to start with my left side here. I'm going to put my hand on my low back, and I'm going to try and drive my shoulder up towards the ceiling as high as I can go. Rotate up, hit that sticky spot there, and then come back down and close it up. And then we're going to repeat here for 10 reps per side. Now, one thing I don't want you to do here is try and squeeze your elbow up to the ceiling. So you see how I do that there? It's really not helpful in getting thoracic spine range of motion, which is what we're trying to achieve with this exercise. And so we just want to drive with the shoulder as best you can. And we're going to get our 10 reps in on this side. And then I'm going to repeat on the other side here. Elbow down, right hand on the low back. Now, what's interesting about working on mobility in a warm-up and motor control is that you might find one side of the body to be tighter than the other. And the best part about that finding is that just means you're normal. Every human's a little bit different. What it means, though, is that you've got a little bit of extra work to do to get some symmetry, as close as you can to symmetry between both sides of the body, so you can continue to work out sustainably and not lose out on training time because you got hurt. So we've got our reps in there, 10 reps per side. Now, foam roller on the wall. This doesn't have to be done with a foam roller. You can do it with just your hands, but it's certainly going to be helpful to have a roller for this exercise. We're going to do some serratus slides with some low trap lifts at the top. Okay, we're going to go for 4 total reps, but it's going to be 2 trap lifts per rep. So we're going to be 8 overall. So here, feet are just a little bit off the wall, so we're standing upright. I want that foam roller right at the elbows, and I want the wrists outside of the, foam roller at the wrists, and I want the wrists to be outside of the elbows. So the wrists are outside the elbows here. Here, the wrists would be inside the elbows, okay? Keep those elbows sucked in, wrists outside the elbows, nice and wide. We're gonna, first of all, push against the foam roller. So loose here, press through. Nice active serratus. We're gonna slide up the wall, keeping that nice active press. Now, at the top of this press, I want you to pin the roller with one arm, and you're gonna raise one arm off. Pin the roller with the other arm, raise the other arm off, and then slide back down into starting position here, okay? So press, raise, lift, lift. Good. And then lower, keeping that press outward. So you can see how active I am through the shoulders. We're going to be doing some overhead pressing in our workout. So we always want to warm up scapulohumeral rhythm. That's a big fancy word for sturdy shoulders. Getting those prepped and ready to do some work. Okay, there's my 4 reps there. I'm going to get right back to the start for round 2. Okay, we might not get our full 3 rounds in here under the timer, but we'll see how it goes here. Really just focusing on quality over quantity in this. We don't need to do a lot of reps of warm-up, because really the goal of a warm-up should be to target what might be getting in your way of achieving your movement in the workout. So we know that the squat is usually limited by most commonly an ankle, and then second most commonly is some thoracic spine mobility. We're targeting both of those. Consequently, an overhead press will be limited most often by poor shoulder mechanics and a lack of T-spine mobility. So in our warm-up, we target those things and make sure that we are prepped and ready to do some work. All right, down to my lumbar locked position, really gonna isolate my T-spine, down on my heels, elbows on the ground, 10 reps here. Really trying to, and you can see 1 rep in or 1 round in, already a huge improvement in range of motion. All right, on to my second side here, second round. Again, just feeling so much better after loosening up here through the upper thoracic spine, really eliminating any twist in the low back. This is a great position for the spine to be in. It's nice and supported. It's not risky. Doesn't really require any effort to stabilize, and we can really focus on working the thoracic spine. You'll see lots of variations of this thoracic spine mobility drill throughout our program because it's so vital for so many things to be able to get into that thoracic spine. Overhead press, serratus slide with a nice low trap lift off at the top, press through the roller, raise, pin, lift, pin, lift. When you lift those shoulder blades up off the roller, I want you to think about your shoulder blade rolling around your rib cage. As I pull that shoulder blade down and back, it shouldn't be a rotation through the chest. Your chest should stay nice and level to the wall in front of you. It's kind of a nice bonus to be able to do this on a mirror here at the gym. But at home, just picture keeping that chest rock solid in front of you as you get your low trap raises in. Now, if these low trap raises are way too difficult for you, you can just simply do the serratus slide outs, and that'll be just fine. Back down on the ground for some controlled articular rotations, maybe show you a little bit of a different angle here. Again, hook underneath the knee, come in with the other arm, squeeze to the chest, create some whole body tension, toes to the sky, foot inverted, keep that inversion into plantar flexion. Now we're everting as we come up into dorsiflexion, hitting that top, keeping that eversion down into plantar flexion, inverting as we come back up into dorsiflexion, and that's 1 rep. Now, I'm actively contracting my bottom leg, so my quads are squeezed, my toes are coming up towards my head. That's going to give me some more whole body tension, which is going to be a great way to create pull across this joint. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to drive some tension across this articulation, so controlled articular rotations. Articulation meaning joint, where 2 bones come together. We're trying to get as much neurological input from this joint as we possibly can, because as much neurological input as we can get will give us as much control as we can get out of this joint. So again, here, lumbar locked, T-spine rotation, coming down to the end of the warm-up here, left side, and even more improvement from round 1. Again, 10 reps here. We did 2 each controlled articular rotations, and we're going to get 10 reps in of our T-spine rotation. Use your head too to look up towards the side that you're rotating to. Now, this is often a common mistake or a common limitation in rotation drills, but your spine or your head is connected to your thoracic spine, obviously through the cervical spine. So if I keep a rigid head here, you can see I'm limited to that rotation. Now, if I look up and I allow the combined rotation of the cervical spine and the thoracic spine, I get a whole bunch more mobility, and your body likes to go where your eyes are going. So it'll allow you to get a little bit more range of motion just by looking towards your target. All right, 1 more rep here, and then I'm going to finish with my final round of serratus slides, and I will show you the variation that I likely should have shown at the beginning of this warm-up, but we're going to go without the foam roller here. Arms on the wall. I'm going to push against the wall, slide up, pull one arm off, keep that pressure, other arm comes off, down in control, pressing out against the wall. Slide up. Now, if you're at home, sometimes putting socks on your hands can be a really nice way to get a little extra slide on the wall. If you have a set of fitness sliders, this can be done with fitness sliders. I'm definitely going to have to clean this mirror after today's workout. But if you have a foam roller, for me, nothing beats the effect of pinning that roller and having to slide up the wall, and then also maintaining the pin on the roller as you get your low trap raises in. So I'm going to do my last rep there, and I am all warmed up, ready to go. We got 20 seconds on the countdown. I'll be right back at you with the workout coming up very, very shortly. All right, everybody, here we go. Workout is coming at you. We've got 5 movements that are all a variation of some sort of press or squat. Okay, those are our 2 fundamental movements that we're working on today. And we're going to be doing them in succession. As always, round to round, I'm going to add some variations to spice it up a little bit and progress you further along so that we build a nice step stair pattern to the very end of the workout. You give everything on your last round. We're going to recover and get ready for the rest of our training week. So without further ado, let's get right to it. We're going to be starting on the ground with a push-up. I'm going to hit the timer. Hopefully this comes up on your screen, and we're going. So push-up variation, okay? We're going to go from the knees here for the first round. We'll go hands elevated, normal push-ups, hands, feet elevated. So we're going to screw the hands into the floor. We're going to lower with vertical forearms and press up. Now, I'm starting from the knees so that I can get my pelvis tucked underneath me, slow and controlled, and I'm going to get my reps in. No stop, constant movement. Just hit the top of that rep, down to the ground, press through the top. I'm really going to keep my tail tucked underneath, and time. 20 seconds rest. So we're going 40-second intervals, 20 seconds rest. We're going to do a dumbbell floor press variation. I'm going to show a straight up floor press from the floor, okay, with 1 single dumbbell. I will be using 2 dumbbells today, but this is the variation you'll stick with if you're using 1 dumbbell. Okay, here we go. Toes are going to come up towards the knees, so we're getting active through the front of the thigh or the front of the shin, and I'm going to press up overhead. Make sure you keep your chin tucked. You don't arch your neck, and we're just going to get some reps in here. Floor press. This is the exact movement of a push-up. We're just going with a dumbbell against gravity as opposed to our body weight. So the harder variation comes first. And time, 40 seconds down. So that's a 2-hand on 1 dumbbell variation for the floor press. You're going to see some other variations coming up. I've got another dumbbell to get me through. Now we're going dumbbell overhead press. So again, I'm going to do 1 dumbbell. This is going to get me started with the overhead press starting now. Dumbbells at chest level. I'm going to hold the 2 ends of the dumbbell. I'm going to press up overhead, keeping my ribs down, abs crunched, lower in control. Up to the top, lower in control. Now, when you get to the top of an overhead press, you don't need to extend so far that your biceps come into your ears. We just want to get that nice overhead reach, full elbow extension at the top. Don't forget to breathe. Four seconds, 3 seconds, 1 more rep, and time. Now, we're going goblet squat. We're going to start this first round going body weight, okay? Just a simple way to start and work on form with the squat. Now, I want you to keep your chest upright, dig into the hips, and only go to what is a comfortable depth. We're starting with a stance that's comfortable for you, squatting down, hands are up in front of us. Squeeze your hands together so we get some total body tension here. We're pushing the hands together, creating some tension in the front of the body. Sink into the hips. If you got to flare your toes, flare your toes. That's fine. We just want this to be a comfortable movement. If that's as far as you can go in your squat right here, totally fine. Knees come over the toes as best you can, creating that whole body tension here. And we're just almost doing a little bit of an extended warm-up by going with the lightest variations in this round, last rep. 20 seconds rest. We are coming to our final movement of round 1. Remember, we have 5 rounds, progressions as we go through. We're going to be doing a dumbbell thruster. So we did the overhead press. We did the squat. Now, we're going to take that single dumbbell, and we're doing the whole thing. Squat to press, squat, press, all one fluid movement. Goblet, press. Goblet, press. Okay? We just did this without a dumbbell, squat, and then the overhead press as we're going through. We're connecting the two. This is the most total body squat press movement we can come up with, and it's an excellent way to work these movement patterns. We're going to see a lot of different variations today, starting with this single dumbbell variation, last rep, and we are done round 1. Good work, everybody. Good work. So, excellent. I'm gonna just fix some technical difficulties here. See if that works for us. Always stay hydrated. I'm drinking a branched chain amino acids drink today. It's just a nice way to add a little bit of extra fuel to the workout, but hydration is an absolute non-negotiable. Make sure you're drinking through it. Okay, variations as always throughout. Remember, we're working on these fundamental patterns. So the push-up, we're going hands elevated, okay? Now, if you can't manage, here we go, 40 seconds, and hands elevated push-ups. So just elevate your hands. The higher elevation you have, the easier this will be. Now remember, all same things apply. Tuck the tail, forearms stay vertical, lower and press. Keep that chin tucked and your head in line with your spine. It's often tempting to look down towards your toes in a push-up. That's not a great position for our neck. And as always, if one variation gets to be too difficult, just back up to the last variation that you were able to do and do your best. Time. All right, we're going to our dumbbell floor press, and I'm going to go to a 2 dumbbell version, okay? So this is probably the easiest variation that we can have. We'll go from 1 dumbbell to 2 dumbbells, okay? I like to do a pronated grip, or this grip where the hands are forward, like you have a barbell, with the exception of a little bit of tilt. So I like to tilt those dumbbells a little bit towards the inside, 45 degrees or so. Good for the shoulders. Keeping that chin tucked, back flat, down and press. Lower, tap those elbows and press. We're going 40 seconds here, 10 seconds left in this round. And don't forget to breathe. And time. Excellent. Now, overhead press. We're going to go with a 2 dumbbell version. And here we go. So we're going to swing these dumbbells up. So I like to do a nice active clean, snap through the hips. Got that front rack position. I'm going to press up overhead, lower and control. Press up overhead, lower and control. Now I like to start with a neutral grip here. Flare those palms just a little bit at the top. It's just a natural angle for those shoulders to go up overhead. And if this is too difficult with 2 dumbbells, or you don't have access to 2 dumbbells at home, Just go back to the last variation we had. And time. Excellent. Now we're going to go goblet squat. I'm going to be taking this one single dumbbell into the front rack position. Show you a side view of my squat for this round. Okay, I'm going to, as always, hip hinge, address the dumbbell, come into a nice goblet position, and we're going to get some good quality squats in here. Remember, it's just really about whatever squat stance is comfortable for you. You hear a lot of, oh, knees or feet should be just outside hip width, and toes should be pointing straight, and knees should go over the toes. Really, you're going to squat however you learned to squat when you were young, and a lot of it is dependent on how your bones and joints formed as an infant. So there's not a whole lot you can control there. Time. Getting spicy already, round 2. I love it. Okay, we're going to dumbbell thrusters. I'm going to go with 2 dumbbells for this version of the thruster. Okay, here we go. Clean as always. Nice 1 rep down, up and through, lower and control. Now I'm just going to take my time with these reps. I'm going to pause at the top, and I will consistently get a little bit more metabolic and dynamic as we go on through this workout. Just take your time, and as always, if you need to go back in a variation round to round, you go right ahead. And time. Awesome. 1 minute rest. All right. So, round 3, our push-up variation is going to be a regular full body push-up. So we did from the knees, easiest. Hands elevated, second easiest. Now we're going with the easiest, which are the second to best push-up, which is going to be just a regular push-up here. Feet nice and wide, tail tucked, forearms vertical, keeping that chin tucked as well. Imagine you're standing up with perfect posture. And I'm just going to go nice, slow and controlled reps. It's not a race. Remember, we're working on owning the fundamental movement patterns. And as always, just back off to a previous variation if you find these to be too difficult. Last rep and time. Excellent. Okay, floor press. I'm going to do the exact same thing with 2 dumbbells here. I'm just going to get into a dead bug position. So dead bug is a nice position to challenge the core a little bit more as we do this floor press. So here we go. Dead bug, so that's where we're at 90 degrees with hips and knees. And again, I'm just going to press with that little 45-degree flare, tap the elbows, press through. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. This is one of my favorite press patterns of all time. I'd love to challenge the dead bug position, get that core control involved, and time. All right. Now we're going overhead press. I'm going to switch this up. and I'm going to go with a tall kneeling single arm overhead press. I'm going to press with my left hand because when I do a thruster, I'm going to press with my right hand. And the next round, we're going to switch. So on the knees, front rack position, one arm. I'm going to press overhead, lower and control. Ribs stay down, abs crunched. Arm out for counterbalance. Press overhead, lower and control. Press overhead, lower and control. And we're getting our 40 seconds of repetitions in. So now we're challenging single arm work. As always, if we need to back up, just go to last round's variation and time. Perfect. Standing into goblet squat. Okay. I'm going to go with 2 dumbbells in the front rack position, which is the same as goblet. So now from here on out, my progression will be to increase weight. These are 225s. The next round, I'm going to jack it up a little bit, and then the final round a little bit further. So front rack position, 2 dumbbells, and I'm just going to get in my squats. Really important to inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Timing your breath is important for mastering any movement, okay? Time there, lower that down. Now, we're going to be doing a thruster, single arm thruster with the right arm, okay? So, load, arm up for counterbalance, squat, press, lower and control, and thrusters for 40 seconds, single arm out for counterbalance. Really keep those ribs down, abs crunched. We don't want to hyperextend through the T-spine. As we're doing these single arm movements, it's a little bit easier to over-rotate the body. Now we're challenging one side. Next round will be the opposite. And we'll finish back in the double arm category. Time. Lower that dumbbell nicely, nice and controlled. And take your rest. So we've progressed in variations quite a bit already. And we're now into round 4. We got 2 more rounds to go. Catch your breath. As the variations get more difficult, just back off to whatever you are most comfortable with. Remember, it's quality over quantity. Now, I'm going to do a feet elevated push-up. So this is the hardest variation of the push-up that you can do body weight. We're going to elevate our feet on a box, bench, step, couch, coffee table, and then all push-up mechanics apply. Keeping the tail tucked, forearms vertical, head in line with the spine. One more rep. Nice. Time. 20 seconds rest. Wow. Definitely increasing in difficulty, but we've got short work periods, which makes this very accessible. I am not going to change the variation on the floor press. Felt really good doing that dumbbell dead bug floor press. So we're going to go right back to it today for round 4 and 5. You're going to see the same movement here. I think we've progressed really nicely to get to this 2 dumbbell dead bug position. It's just an excellent low back reset, full body push pattern, getting the core active. Keep breathing through it. I went way over my time limit there, was not paying attention, and now we're going to pay for it in the overhead press. We're going tall kneeling, right hand. Tall kneeling, dumbbell in the right hand. We did this in the left side last round, and we're going to do the right side single arm press this round, and then the thruster will be left side single arm press. And as the shoulders start to fatigue, we're almost going to back off in variations for the shoulder, these 2 rounds, and then finish with some great form and quality on the last round. Time. We're going goblet squat. So I'm going to go with a bigger dumbbell, a little more weight. Challenge myself just a little bit here, so the only variation I'm going to add is just a little bit of load. You don't have to go crazy. Remember, it's 40 seconds. You're likely going to get anywhere between 8 and 12 reps in 40 seconds. You might get upwards of 15 if you have a light load. That still is relatively high reps to be going with some crazy loads. So I could certainly add quite a bit more weight to my squat, but with the number of reps and the goal of this training session to master the form and technique of these fundamental moves, I'm going to stop here with my load. Nice and comfortable, getting the heart going. Time. And single arm thrusters. Left arm is pressing. We did the right arm last round and in our overhead press. So now we go left arm. As always, active clean to front rack, squat and press. Woo! End of round 4. One more round to go. Things are getting spicy here at Delpit. And this is only workout number 1. We got a whole month. A whole month, you're going to see a bunch of different variations in training style, all trying to just get you to achieve mastery of these moves. We want you to be savants of the push, pull, carry, squat, hinge, and lunge. Okay, final round. I'm going to go back to doing, or I'm going to do, feet elevated push-ups, but I'm going to lower with a 5-second eccentric count. So slowing down the lowering phase increases time under tension. That's going to significantly increase difficulty of this push-up. So 5 seconds down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the bottom, pause, press to the top, reset, repeat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, press, repeat. We got one more rep in this here. Last push-up. Squeeze to the top in time. Excellent. Good work. Hardest push-up variation yet. Hopefully you just went back to any other variation that we've done so far today to get that exercise in, that 40 seconds. Remember, dumbbell, floor press. We're going to that dead bug position. No progression here, simply because there's no progression needed. This is one of the best full body pressing exercises I can come up with. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Breathing is one of the keys to mastering any activity, mental, physical, regardless of the modality. Breathing will help you achieve your goals. Okay, time. Excellent work. Okay, we're going to go back to a standing 2-arm overhead press, but we're going to add a full curl rotation around on the way up. So this is called an Arnold press. As always, squat, hinge, and clean those dumbbells up to front rack. Start with the palms facing towards you. Press up, rotate the arms out. Palms are now facing away. Curl down and in, okay? So now we're activating a little bit more of the shoulder capsule, challenging the rotator cuff through a greater range of motion, increasing the stability demands on your body. To finish us off here, really strong. Good work. That's getting lit up. We're gonna be just about done here. 2 more intervals and we're finished. I'm going with that same heavy goblet squat to finish off this final squat round here. Clean it up as always. Nice active position, ribs down, abs crunch, chest stays up nice and tall. And we're squatting through, keeping that chest up nice and tight. Only go to a comfortable depth. If you need to go to here and you're doing half squats or quarter squats, be my guest. This is all about accessibility, helping you achieve your goals. We can make movement work for anybody. One of the big reasons we give so many variations for each exercise in each workout. One more rep here and time. Excellent work. And we're going to finish with alternating single arm thrusters. So 2 dumbbells, both in the front rack, but as we come up, we're only going to press 1 dumbbell overhead, squat down, repeat opposite arm. Here we go, 40 more seconds, everybody. Push through it with me. Full squat, press the right arm up, lower and control, full squat. Left arm, down, squat, right arm. Keep it going. Squat and press. Squat, press. 15 seconds. Alternating arms. Go backwards in a variation if needed. 8 more seconds. 2 more reps. 1. Last rep. Boom. And time. Excellent work, everybody. And we are in cool down mode here. Excellent, excellent, excellent effort. Okay, cool down mode here. I'm just going to start myself in a nice straddle position and just breathe. So one of the biggest components of recovery, more than anything, should be getting your breathing to reset. So focusing on a nice gentle stretch, okay? I can feel a little bit of something going on in my hamstrings, adductors there in that round. So I'm going to address that right now. I'm not going to put it off. I'm not going to wait until tomorrow. I'm not going to wait until this evening. I'm just going to take care of it right now, right here. Okay. And we're just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Try to get a 4-second inhale, a brief pause, maybe up to 4 seconds of a hold, a 4-second exhale, and then a 4-second hold. It's called a box breath. So here we go. In through the nose. Holding. Exhale. Holding. Inhale. As I start to cool down, start to take care of what's going on in here for me. My breathing starts to improve. I'm going to fold forward. I'm not going to round forward. I'm folding at the hips into a little bit more posterior chain tension and continuing to breathe. Now, again, very important. I'm folding. I'm not rounding. Keep that back up nice and straight. You'll be able to go not as far, but it's going to be much more effective here for you. I'm going to experience just a little bit of a twist here. See if I can't find a little better that spot that was bothering me. Sit up nice and upright. I'm going to bring these heels in. I'm going to get into a 10-month developmental position here. Again, just challenging the front of the hip a little bit. I'm going to grab my ankles to pull my chest forward and get myself a little bit more upright. So one of the big things that you might see here with this exercise is a rounding of the spine. I want you to get as tall and prim and proper in your posture as you can. Tuck your chin, and then we can try and flare the thighs just a little bit more. So I'm using the elbows to sort of pry gently out, but only as much as I can keep my chest up nice and tall. And again, breathing. Again, I'm really trying to work the inside of this hip, groin, adductor, hamstring region, just based on what I felt in that workout. So this is one of the fundamentals that we want to teach you outside of the 6 movements, is that exercise takes a toll, no matter how perfect or your body might be or how perfect you feel. If you find little things that are bothering you, little things that are tight, getting in your way, address them right now. Take this 5 minutes to cool down and get into that, fix it up, reset, so that when you go to train with us on the next day or whenever you're working out again, you are ready to go. Okay, that's enough for me today. Workout number 1 finished. Thank you so much for tuning in to February Fundamentals of Movement. We're getting after it, and it started right here with an excellent workout. Catch you guys later.